Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's Competitive Speed Series, it's PlayStation, it's Sunday. Hello, it is time to get ourselves underway around the wonderful Bahrain International Circuit. Alongside me is the wonderful, I'm actually pointing in the right direction. I've got it. No, I'm not. Pointing in the right direction. It's the wonderful Logan Skelton. No,
I can't see your video,
no.
so I can't see.
You don't know, but the viewers do, and they've already called me out on it. But we're heading to Bahrain. What a circuit it is! But first of all, obviously, we'll go through the standings, the calendar, where we're up to, and then we'll get into qualifying around this beautiful, beautiful circuit. But first of all, the standings. CPI out in front, a massive lead here, nearly 100 points. They're leading the championship. I believe it's 79 points they lead by in the championship. LDL in third, IRT fourth, ETA in fifth. That team, what a strong showing they've had since joining the championship. VMV in sixth, RVL in seventh, Race Concept Racing in eighth, EPL ninth, and Deluxe Esports team in 10th place. Good to have a 10th team once again. It's nice to have them back, but let's also look at the calendar, because obviously, as I mentioned, heading to Bahrain, and, well, we're at Bahrain today. We'll head to Japan, Las Vegas, and Brazil to round up the season. What a blockbuster ending Brazil is going to be, Logan. And Bahrain as well. What a circuit to have it at for round number 9.
Yes, it's been around for 20 years this year. It started in 2004. It's hosted the Bahrain Grand Prix 20 times, missing 1 year in 2011 due to the Arab Spring. As well, talk about 2010's Bahrain Grand Prix because it was an absolute farce of a track. I actually do secretly prefer the Sakira track because it's fast and furious. Had to put some movie references in, especially with The Rock just coming out of WrestleMania. Yes, Bahrain circuit is been only modified once, if we don't include the 2010 layout. In Turn 4 was adjusted in 2005, which was also home to the hottest Grand Prix ever. Was it like 43 degrees or something Celsius? It was absolutely
mental.
It was absolutely scorching. And I don't know if I'd survive. I think I've been in 40-degree temperatures before in Turkey, but never 45 or something like that. It's ridiculous. Death Valley.
Yeah, absolutely. Death Valley indeed. And, well, let's have a little look at the track itself then, because this track, very, very different to your typical race circuit. Although it is a permanent facility, your main braking opportunity is going to be that amazing, tricky turn 1, turn 4 as well. If you dare try for an overtake in turn 10, chances of the re-overtake into turn 11 are there. And obviously turn 14, 3 DRS zones here, quite a few heavy braking zones as well, so battery going to be a bit less of a concern as opposed to tracks like Austria perhaps. Obviously we've been to at earlier points in previous seasons, but it's going to be a very difficult one here tonight. But 15 turns, 3.362 miles around this circuit. It is going to be an absolute whistle-stop tour when we get underway in a few moments' time, and I don't think we're all too far away from the signal being given to get into that qualifying session. 18 minutes around here. ET8 have been on fine form in previous races. Can anybody stop them? Because they are really building some really good momentum. They're a bit late in the day to make a championship charge, but they're certainly getting up there very, very quickly, aren't they?
Yes, absolutely. It's still a lot to play for, of course. We have seen CPI kind of course, they had that horrible week at Silverstone. They both ran out in the first corner, but they seem to have a bit of a re-uprising coming into tonight. Of course, we had a week break, so they've all had a time to rest and think about how to handle these final 4 races: Bahrain, Japan, Las Vegas, and Brazil, all coming up, of course, in the next 4 weeks. How exciting that will be! We are going to get underway. We're going to be underway in 30 seconds.
Yeah, indeed. 30 seconds to go until we're getting underway for that qualifying session. It's such a good track, this one. You are in for an absolutely amazing race when we get underway for that. But first of all, 18 minutes of qualifying coming your way in a couple of seconds' time. Who is your bet for pole, Logan?
Oh, don't ask me. Actually, I haven't even checked what the lineup is tonight.
Ever prepared as always, aren't
I
we,
just
Logan?
got home from work, guys. Real life talk.
Yeah.
I've just come home from work.
We are ever prepared as always, but I do see that people are now readying up for that qualifying session. In a couple of moments' time, we'll be heading towards the actual gameplay scene itself, and all of a sudden then, that's when things really start to, well, all become a little bit real for these drivers, maybe hit home ever so slightly more as well, because, well, now the pressure is really on. 80 minutes of qualifying coming your way once the final couple of drivers finish readying up here. We're on the loading screen. It's just taking a little while for all of the green little blobs to come across that screen. And, well, before we actually get on the broadcast, I've put the console in do not disturb mode. I've remembered to do that.
Can I just mention something? You have a new team tonight, I heard.
Yes, we do. Jalux Esports team, yeah. In for this round.
DLX.
Yeah, DLX are in for this round of the championship. And look, it is a pit lane. It is the beginning of qualifying, and this is going to be quite something indeed. Here we are.
Why is Max Verstappen racing? Why is Max Verstappen on the screen? He wasn't invited.
Max Verstappen was not invited. No, he was not. But
You're not invited. Sorry.
Not a problem at all.
Ferrari.
Yeah, Ferrari. That's all we need to say. All we need to say. Just looking as we begin this qualifying, well, in this qualifying session, and, well, this could be quite something. We obviously, the VMV retiring, that must be a qualifying ban to speak of there. Not allowed to qualify if you have a qualifying ban on your account. I'm just wondering where the game audio is. I can't seem to see it. This isn't great. Oh no, it is there.
You can't see audio.
No, it's fine. It was fine all along. I just hadn't turned it so I could hear it. There we go. Qualifying underway firmly now as drivers here head towards the race circuit for this qualifying session. 18 minutes, well no, 16 minutes now to come your way in the next couple of moments. Who's your bet for pole? Get it in the Twitch chat right now. Well, be sure to see who
Why is
comes.
It Freezer?
It is indeed. Plenty of
Freezer, I'm
there.
going to donate a cookie to the audience.
Oh, your bet for pole was Fraser.
You're not eligible. You're not eligible, Byron. Sorry, you can't have the cookie.
Okay.
What am I going to get us copyrighted for? What, singing Max Verstappen's song?
Yes.
Dude, I'm singing it. It's public domain. If I played the recording, yeah, I probably would. But you know.
Yes, I mean
overreaction. So the first is Rihanna of the EPL, not the English Premier League. I don't mean to mock the team names, but those of you just mentioned these are initialized teams.
Yes, we're on for a good qualifying session here. 15.5 minutes left in this one, and well, everyone hitting the track and beginning what will be their first flying laps. ET8 will be the first car to come across and begin a flying lap. This is Owen here, coming into turn number 1. You'll brake here at about the 75 meters. Before that, very careful here on the throttle application on the exit. Try not to cut back too much. Will make your rear end loose if you cut it too fine. Now up towards turn number 4, we come with Owen here, and you see him go all the way to the left. That is the esports line, as we call it. Run it as wide on the exit. We've seen that plenty of times in Formula 1, especially in qualifying. Bounce over these curves as much as you dare. And beautifully taken here from ET8 to begin this qualifying session. Missing the apex there, down towards turn number 8, ever so slightly, now towards the tricky turn number 9 and 10. Be very careful here. It's very easy to lock up there into that braking zone. You see a small little lock up there as he heads towards the exit here. Run as far away as possible. He just went a bit too wide and kept with it, knowing that otherwise you'll lose a lot of pace and performance. Again, esports line there into turn number 11. That is your third DRS zone around a lap here, and now up towards turns number 13 here. It's obviously a powerful sector too. He's the first driver to go through there, but Owen now along this next straight, plenty of straights around this circuit, and now he'll head towards the line, and you see there, Cordia there with the first flying lap. Frank then sets a further lap, but now Owen up to the line. Can he set a better lap time? He absolutely will. A 1:27.639, a good lap time there for ETA, a sign of things to come, no doubt.
Yes, of course. So 1:27.639 ETA still trying to build some more ground after last week and try and catch up to CPI. CPI are not having the greatest of times. They've only won once and had 2 podiums in the past 5 races. And they've certainly, and a 3 DNFs as well. They had more DNFs than podiums, and 2 of them came in the 1 race, and that is, of course, Silverstone. I'm sorry to remind you of that, but it did happen. I should mention Ian wasn't the first to set a lap. It was actually Corrijo, but it's the slowest of the lot at unrepresentative time. So, yes, that's a non-factor. His teammate Derek is coming across to finish his lap, and it will be actually a very slow time, well out of the pace. Kadumi for LDL. This is a driver I haven't seen for quite a while, maybe not seen at all. He gets into the 1:28.196. 3 drivers yet at a time. 3 drivers already retired, and I do believe that's because they've got qualifying bans.
Yes, absolutely. Casper Flack, though, heading up to the line now for IRT. His teammate's in 5th with a 1:28.162. Where can he put himself? He invalidates, actually, so he's not going to get a good lap time on the board here at all. So, unfortunately, a bit of a wasted lap time there. Stretch and Matt Zozo there also invalidating their flying runs as well. So, unfortunately, everyone has set their initial lap time if they're setting one, but ET8 there. Obviously, one driver with a qualifying ban, so not going to be competing here. He's down in 12th. But the other one, at the top of the timesheet, not a bad start there for one of the ET8s. The other one is going to have quite a job to do in the race here, but IRT as well, one in driver invalidating RCR with Matt Zozo and Stretch for EPL. All going to be a little bit difficult. They're on the back foot. The pressure is probably a little bit more on for these guys to deliver a good lap time here towards the end of this qualifying session.
Yes, absolutely. So we've got the first round of laps complete. Currently, Ian at the top, 11 drivers. Well, really, it's 9 drivers for a time, 2 quite unrepresented drivers, both in the deluxe team, but I'm sure they'll improve with 11.5 minutes to go. In fact, Derek has set another lap and has went faster, but again, not by anywhere close to his teammate even. So he will definitely have to go again. So that is the first round of laps, surely complete now, and it's a as you may notice, there is only 1 driver for CPI tonight, so more further setbacks for CPI, but they will still be guaranteed to be leading at the end of this. And besides, the NLR team have a double throwing tonight, so this is a big chance to get maximum points tonight. Same goes for IRT and LDL, who are tied on points. LDL leading it on countback with 1 win to their name, and IRT can only manage 2nd place at best during this season. So big battle for the podium spots in the overall team's championship, which is probably more important than the drivers' championship, as many drivers swap the seats in and out as we go through the season. So looks like we've got 2 drivers on their outlap. Frank and Ian both playing a key role for their teams tonight. They need to get some massive points on the board. ETA can actually still win this championship. They are 66 points behind the LDL and IRT teams, but don't ever count them out.
Yes, absolutely. Cannot count anyone out in this championship at this stage. 3 rounds to go after this one, but that's still plenty of time for anyone to make a championship challenge, especially ETA, a team that have been looking so good. But look, we've got the second runs getting underway quite nicely now. Owen back out onto the track as well. That's going to be a car to really keep an eye on. We've seen how ETA won on their debut here, and now all of a sudden it could be another great race for them if they're able to get this one. But IRT Frank, he's going to be the first driver to come across the line and start these second flying runs. I'm a little bit worried, though, for the IRT there, who obviously is in 5th place, because he could definitely get caught up in the traffic that's there in sector number 1, but he's going to come and start this lap time. Take it away.
So here goes Frank coming across the line to start his lap, coming to the first turn, probably one of the tightest corners on the track. Goes down to third gear, and then heads out of the second curve, cuts the corner, and out onto the curb of the third turn before going DRS long way down to turn number 4, which is probably the only modified part ever in the history of this track. Make sure you don't go too far wide or you'll have your track lap invalidated. For swooping through 5 and 6 at a rapid pace before slowing down for turn 8. Sorry, this is turn 8. I think I missed it was 6 and 7 back there. Now, coming through turns 9 and 10, braking as you go into turn number 9, getting a nice apex through 10 and exits nice and well done. Coming through the second DRS zone towards turn 11, should be braking down to about 5th or 6th gear here. Goes down 4th gear. 4th gear and then comes out up to 5th gear for coming through turn number 12. Car gets out of the way for him for going down to 4th gear for turn number 13. 2 more turns to go as he got a car by front of him, and I believe that is a teammate. Yes, it is. He gets out of the way. That is allowed in this. Don't worry. Just PSGL that, and all the other leagues, I think, WR, that don't allow it. But coming out of the final 14-15, down to 4th gear, and then crossing the line, full blast, it gets a 1:27.813. Great time, but still can't beat Ian.
Yeah, very good lap time there for Frank to really get the second runs underway. His teammate will now begin his flying lap as well. So plenty of laps now going to be set in a couple of moments' time. But keep an eye on Nico, who obviously he's currently third. We'll be looking for an improvement here. But I'm also trying to keep an eye on Owen here, who's improving by over a tenth of a second. So this man could be about to topple his own time and really maybe strike a bit of fear into the rest of this grid, because he might go even faster. Here we come, Aston Martin on a mad one, ET8 on an absolute barnstormer, and could be top of the timesheets once again. Is it a faster time? It is. It's a 1:27.479. What a lap time here. Nearly, well, 3.5 tenths better than anyone else as Rayan goes up into second. Good lap time from him, but nowhere near ET8 with Owen here. What a lap time here from them. This is a team that you cannot ever count out, and you just can't. They are absolutely sensational in this championship.
Owen sending a message to the entire CSS field. We are not here to mess around. We are here to play the game, and play the game they are. They are absolutely dominating this session as we speak, and the other drivers have got a long, long way to go to get anywhere near or try and even exceed Owen's time. It seems like an eternity away. Casper Flack got there with a 7:04, Rayane with a 8:09, but it's nothing compared to Ian's time. Fraser kind of got on the board now. He goes third, nearly 2 tenths down. That is a statement from Owen. It's going to take some beating.
Yeah, what a statement from him. Casper Flack, what a lap time from him, though, as well, in this qualifying session. But Fraser as well, a good lap time from them. So, brilliant second runs here. Really showing that ET8, they just aren't here to mess around. You've got to think about what Lars Kramer can do in the second. Well, when he actually gets to drive a car, he sat here watching this qualifying session for 18 minutes. He has got nothing to do but twiddle his thumbs. But that man, his teammate, is on absolutely brilliant pace. You'd only want to assume that he is too. You just can't count this team out at all. One of them might be starting 15th in this race, but that means absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things, because I would not be surprised if they take a huge points haul here, especially with CPI missing one driver, and the other one maybe not quite as fast as ET8 here as maybe they might want to be. But plenty of time still to go in this qualifying session. Definitely IRT looking one of the teams to beat, but ET8 still out on top.
Absolutely. So everyone just coming in to complete their second lap. And there'll be one more lap, I presume. So that'll be fun to watch.
Indeed, one more flying lap to come from this field of drivers, and we've already got someone out on an out lap here. We've actually got Derek there, down in 14th. Now, DLX, they're a team that obviously this is their first race. So, they're going to need time to really bed themselves into this championship and try and get themselves sorted and really working at a high level, but it's their first race. You know, you can't expect a huge amount out of them on their debut. But we saw with ETA, you can deliver on your debut. But this team, they're certainly a little on the back foot versus where you might expect them to be. So it's going to be interesting to see what they can do come the race. But with one of their drivers, nearly 2 seconds off the next best car, and then the other one further 2 seconds adrift of that, it's going to be difficult for this team. I'm very interested to see kind of how they progress in this championship, but as both DLX cars are out on the circuit in their laps, the rest of the field will now follow, as that is Casper Flack, who comes out of the pit lane, and he is going to be one of the first lead cars to bite the bullet, go out onto the track. Is he going to have the best track conditions, or is that track really going to ramp up after he starts his lap time? Because if so, this could be, well, really a pole-deciding variable for him.
And Derek also on his lap now, going through. He needs to get a representative time on the board, or he'll be starting very far down. He will be already. He's on 14th out of the 14 drivers that are participating in this session, which is last. Going through the second sector, and he's backed out. No, he hasn't. But he backed out there for a second. He's going very slow around turn 4, it seems. Going to do turn number 7. Sorry, turn number 8, pardon me. Always get those two cars mixed up. For 9 and 10. 9 and 10 should be the real test. You see massive lockup coming out of the corner and squiggly out of turn number 10. Squiggly, probably not hard enough of a word to describe that drive from Derek for the final turns, and I think he's still struggling to get any pace out of this car. As we head to Sector 3, he is improving, but he isn't improving very much, I must mention. And I fear these two drivers will be starting right at the back. Corujo needs to set a representative time as well. It's not looking good as everyone else is starting their lap now.
Yes, absolutely. Look at the advantage that actually, fun enough, Casper Flack is going to get. He's let the car of Darek through, and now he's going to get a little bit of a tow and a slipstream from him. And not only that, he's probably going to get a slipstream from his teammates. So this could work to Casper Flack's advantage here. He's the first of the leading pack to come across the line and begin his final flying hot lap here. And that DRS will come wide open as he goes on the run to turn number 4 here. Final flying laps firmly underway here at the Bahrain International Circuit. And, well, you can't count anyone out at all around this sort of place, and he is looking very, very good in Sector 1, half a tenth down on his best sector time so far, but that means absolutely nothing around a circuit where you can find the biggest of margins in the smallest of places. And, well, now the run down to turn 9 and 10, try not to lock it up there, small little lock up there, but that's mostly due to the undulation there. It's a downhill, left braking. It's very difficult, very precise, takes a lot of precision that, but Casper Flack doing brilliantly here as he edges towards the end of his final flying lap here around this circuit. It's a 3.6 mile lap around here, and he's improving. It's a purple sector too. It's about 2 tenths up. He's going to have his teammate for a tow. This could work to pay its dividends. Could he get to the top of the timesheets? Well, there's an Alpine in the way. This Alpine!
Oh no!
This in the bin!
What?
That is going to the stewards undoubtedly. Matt Zozo there, fully blocking that McLaren.
There. I think he brake tested him.
Absolutely shocking scenes there from him. Casper Flack will be fuming with that. There is nothing that the stewards can do right here, right now. But you are going to be absolute red mist in the cockpit of Casper Flack. But look at ETA Owen here. He's beginning his final lap here. This is a man who has been top of the timesheet since the first lap time.
Byron! Dini is trying to get back at Casper Flack because he felt like he was impeded. Excuse me, you impeded Casper Flack. We saw it on the camera. He's now having a massive duel as if it were the race with Aladini, and I fear what's going to happen next. I'm sorry I can't cut to the action, but on my screen I'm just following you, so you just do your thing.
Well, ETA Owen, he's not improving on his final lap time, but it's fine because he doesn't need to. CPI Fraser does go up to second though. Rayan is there into fourth. IRT Frank, he's improving by small margins here on his final lap, but I'm not sure if he's had an incident here with the Alpine. He's still improving by small margins, so he could jump Rayan here, make it an IRT second row, and that would be great news for that team. They've been impeded on a lap time that maybe could have got them pole. He is going to be fuming as Frank and Casper Flack here. That team discussion will go on long into the night, but Frank into the pit lane. No improvement from him. Is Karumi improving? He is by about a tenth of a second, so he could jump up as high as 6th place. That is pretty much qualifying done and dusted though. Yoen on pole, Fraser in second, Casper Black in third, but a fuming red mist descending upon him. Rayan 4th, IRT Frank 5th, but we've got to wait for Karumi to come across the line. Where will they put themselves in this qualifying session? That puts them up to 6th place, but Owen, P1 in qualifying, and what a qualifying session. That was the Irishman is on pole by a tenth and a half, and wow. You couldn't write the end to that qualifying with the ad incident occurring. Whew! Take a little bit of a breather on that one, because take a couple breaths. And breathe.
And the Casper is fuming.
Absolutely. Casper Flack is going to be fuming. I want to see the conversation that is going on in the Discord server there, because that is one man who
I think he brake tested. I know I really shouldn't have an opinion, but that looked like a brake test to me.
It did definitely look a little bit.
I don't think it was intentional, but it looked like a brake test.
Well, have your rundown of qualifying quickly. Owen on pole, Fraser in second, Casper Flack third, Rayan in fourth, IRT Frank in fifth, Karumi in 6th place there. And what a qualifying session that undoubtedly was. You cannot write anything about that. That is such an interesting qualifying session we have just witnessed here. I'm not sure if any grid penalties were awarded. I'm not sure if we have a restart, Logan. I'm really a bit unsure on that, unfortunately. But I'm pretty sure.
I don't think we will.
I don't think we do have a restart coming, but we'll cut to the intermission screen briefly for a couple of moments, just so we can catch our breath ever so slightly. I've just realised I've just exposed the team chats because I wanted to figure out what was being said about that incident. IRT Phil is fuming in the Twitch chat. How is it always RCR, honestly? Unbelievable, he says. No matter which event, RCR always finds a way to kill us in quali and or the race. It's incredible. The red mist. It is so there. These teams, they're fighting for money. So you can't, be angry at them for that. But at the end of the day, such controversy. I do need confirmation that we don't have a lobby restart. Someone needs to just, let me know of that before, I just start casting something.
No, there's no lobby restart.
Lovely stuff. That is everything we want. Logan's face cam has died on the thing. That's fine. It's all fixed. Look, I'm very interested at this. This cannot end well for RCR at all. That is a team that they've had so many run-ins with IRT and difficult, very, very difficult. But this race surely going to be a very exciting one. Just a reminder of your track. Here we are. It's the Bahrain International Circuit. 3.362 miles, 15 turns. You may know we're taking opportunities. Turn 1, Turn 4, Turn 10, Turn 11, and Turn 14. 3 DRS zones to speak of. That's a drag reduction system. That's when that rear wing swings it way open. And that will happen if you're within a second of the car in front. That will give you a bit of an extra speed boost down the straights and does help you make that all-important overtake. Remember, points for the top 15, and in a couple of seconds' time, we'll be getting underway for this Bahrain Grand Prix, and you cannot say ETA are not in a great place to win this one. Sure, one driver's down the order, but the other one is on pole.
Absolutely. So, just waiting anxiously for the drivers to ready up. Not you, Max. You're not allowed to race today. It'd be too unfair.
Yes, indeed. It would be very unfair if Max Verstappen was to race in competitive speed series, but these drivers certainly do race like the inner Max Verstappen, and well, RCR certainly having an incident like old Max Verstappen might have done, but just a couple of seconds until we get this race underway. Someone saying in the Twitch chat, the difference is made in the race, Phil, so just leave it. And to be fair, you got a point. But here we go.
Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go, and it's a jump start for DLX. A great start to their campaign. Owen, though, on pole position, going to take us around this first flying lap of action here in the Bahrain International Circuit, and that is a great start there for Owen, who leads us away. Incidents galore, though, towards the further back of this field, and look at both DLX cars already falling to the back of the grid, 16th and 15th there. Look at Ryan, who's getting up himself up into third. There's a little bit of desync there, I'm noticing. Not sure if that's happening across everyone, but Alpha Gully getting his way up to 6th place in this race. A good start there for him and NLR, and they need to try and get a good race here tonight. But Owen leads, Fraser in 2nd, Rayan in 3rd, Kasperfak 4th, IRT Frank in 5th. Well, both drivers there and IRT maybe a little bit disappointed. They've both lost a place here, but it's still a long race to go.
Oh boy. Lots of bashing happening behind us. 3 wide into turn number 10. And that's between the cars of Aldini, Quasar, and Kramer. The DLX teams are falling way behind. Kind of nearly as representative as the team in 2021. Not great sight there. But further back, Aldini trying to get past Quasar. Now is Quasar and Lars Kramer battling for 14th place. And Kramer gets Unis to get into 14th place. Further front, it's a 4/10 lead for Ewan, of Fraser, of Rayan, then Casper Flack and Frank, the IRTs in 4th and 5th. Alpha Gully needs to get up higher though if he wants to score big for NLR, close the gap to CPI, who are on a one-man show tonight. And that's Frank losing a position to one of the NLRs. Alpha Gully getting through into the position, and that's Rayan trying to dive in the inside of Fraser, but too late to try and strike, as Stretch is losing a couple positions to...
he's gone round! And he's reset to track.
Reset. Yeah, he can't reset to track. That'll be a penalty for sure, and he's fallen to the back of the grid. He was in a fight with, I believe,
Matt Zozo.
Yeah, there is desync. You are right.
Yeah, there is a little bit of desync. I'm noticing it mostly with Owen, your current race leader. He's leading by about half a second here, but ahead of CPI Fraser. He needs to try and break out of that 1 second window if he can, to try and ensure that he gets this race, under his control, firmly within that control that he's gonna want. But at the moment, he's not able to do that, and these drivers behind probably just using a little bit of battery. Alpha Gully though up to 4th. IRT not having the best of days in the office. They've lost 2 places each now, so it's getting a bit more difficult for them in this race, as now Nico battles there with I'm Packed in towards turn number 13, and nicely done from I'm Packed to make that. And now Matt Zozo is going to be thinking about the overtake here on Nico as we head down towards turn 14, and actually it's a bit of damage to Nico, so this is going to make life easier for Matt Zozo here, up comfortably ahead and into the braking zone. You're going to see Nico peel off into the pit lane, change the front wing and the tyres. A different strategy coming his way. And certainly, for those on the hard compound tyres, they've got a long way to go into this race. We've got 29 laps in this race, and we're on lap 3 of 29, so we've got plenty of laps to come. And, Owen hasn't broken that 1 second, so plenty of things to think about for this race leader.
Yeah, in fact, he's within 3/10 of the driver ahead. And I should also go and mention... Lars Kramer is making his moves again. He's just made a move on Quasar, and Aladini is right behind Quasar as well. So Lars Kramer already making up for his grid penalty. Great to see there. Further up, we've got, and there's Aladini making some scrutiny from the stewards again for that incident at qualifying. So we should mention now, it is currently Ewan in the lead ahead of Fraser, and then Rayan with Alpha Gully in the 4th position, and the 5th and 6th position occupied by the IRTs. Jeremy and Ethan up there as well in the top 10. Matt Zozo rounds that out, and then Lars Kramer just about to approach it, because he's got a lot of pace behind him, I have to say.
Yes, Lars Kramer for ET having a lot of pace here around the Bahrain International Circuit. And Oh, that's a dangerous moment for Rayan there going out of the exit of turn 14. That man lost the rear. Wow, nearly as easily as you could in an average road car. But look at CPI Fraser. He's possibly going for a move for the lead very shortly. But Rayan lucky to hold the car there. He's now under pressure from Alpha Gully, though, who goes down the inside side by side through here. Soft versus hard. You'd surely put your money on the softs winning out here. DRS wide open, but the overspeed isn't enough here for Alpha Gully. But down the inside, he goes into the braking zone at turn number 4. Can he hold it versus the hard compound tyre? He'll have more grip. Surely he gets it through here. Oh, they go side by side. They make contact, and Alpha Gully's gone round. He's round there at turn number 6. And that is disappointing for NLR. They were running for a great result, but they can't go side by side through there. You can't manage it ever. And unfortunately for him, it has not worked out.
You can't go through there. And Alpha Gully, unfortunately, position. Wow, Morris Kramer with a fantastic move in turn 10 on Matt Zozel. Now into the top 10. It seems to have eased up front between Ian and Fraser, but Karumi looking for a move to make a IRT sandwich, it seems. Heading into turn 13, sticks right behind him, about 4 tenths is the gap right now. Fraser still within that 1 second margin. It's a crucial margin as well, because DRS can be used within 1 second. Ian now needs to find somewhere to avoid that DRS from chasing him down. Both drivers have got a lot of DRS to use, and now looks like Clasper Flack is going to have a chance into the podium, and he gets it, takes whatever he does, and now he is in the top 3. Ryan now relegated to 3rd.
Yeah, Rayan obviously having that big rear end slide this time last lap, probably taking a little while to get those tyre temperatures back under control, and also for him as well, he has to think a little bit more about his, tyres now, because that big rear end snap is not going to help your tyre wear in the slightest. But Casper Flack done a nice job there. He's already back within the 1 second window of CPI Fraser ahead, which obviously he needs to try and do to really help his own race and try and make sure he gets the absolute most out of it. Lars Kramer, by the way, he's up to 9th place. That man, he's on a mission. He's on a charge. He's having a great race so far. ETA, you're just, well, what a team they are. Coming through this championship, and they are fielding some absolute brilliant drivers into this championship and really giving us something to be super excited about, especially if they stick around for next season. But look at Owen. He's nearly pulled clear of that 1 second window ahead of CPI Fraser, but he's not quite there yet.
Nearly is right. He's trying to find everything he can to get an edge. And so is Fraser trying to close up on him, but seems like we're just in a stalemate right now. Meanwhile, Rayani trying to get back at Casper for losing that 3rd place, and he's going to have a great opportunity to do so, because Casper is not going to have DRS coming out of that final corner. And now it's on. Rayani is going to get back into 3rd place. Meanwhile, up front, Ewan holds the lead. Fraser can't get anywhere near, and Lars Kramer is now up into 8th. We've only done 5 laps, and he's already up to 8th. Incredible. As Aladini gets past Quasar.
Yeah, a lot of moves happening in this field, and as to be expected, plenty of opportunities to make an overtake around this circuit, but noticing the battle between Rayan and Casper Flack has actually lost them plenty of time here, and now they're not within a second of Fraser ahead, and they need to try and get within that crucial 1 second window to try and maximise their own strategies and get as much benefit and potential out of this race with their current strategy they have chosen before the start of this race, and they're not going to get it down this DRS straight. And once you've fallen out of DRS range, it becomes a lot harder to get back in it, especially if the car in front has that advantage to their name. As you see in the background there, that's Karimi there, pulling out of the slipstream of IRT Frank. 9 times out of 10, that's not because they're making an overtake. It's just because they're trying to cool the car down and make sure they don't have overspeed, so they have to overtake, and just doing it very sensibly there for LDL, and obviously the other LDL plenty down the order. DLX, though, not having a great race here at all, and well, it's going to be a race to forget for them on their debut, unfortunately, unlike ET8 when they stepped into this championship just 2 races ago. I think it was 3, actually.
Here we go, Byron.
But, yes, here we go. Fraser, he's really mounting the pressure on.
Yes, he's right behind him, thinking if a move, but he decides to back out. He's going to go for it into turn 4. It's now advantage Fraser as he doesn't seem to use much for his ERS. Neither has Ewan, but here we go. Is there going to be a move? No, there is not. They're hanging fire for a while, it seems. Further back, though, 1.5 seconds down, Casper Flack and Frank are really ganging up on Rani. Tag teaming, but Kurumi's there as well, and Ethan lurking behind for the NLR. So, crucial title, well, I should say title, but crucial points battle here, in position battle in the team's championship as well.
Yes, crucial points on offer for all involved in this race, and well, certainly one of the teams that I think are going to be trying to maximise the most out of this has got to be ET8 with one CPI car not in this one. It's a great opportunity for them to get tons of points ahead of that team if they're able to get a really solid result here. And as things stand, there's yellow flag there in sector 2. That's Direct who's gone round. That's not a great race for them, I believe. For a minute then, I thought the rear wing was stuck open, which very much confused me, which glad it wasn't. That would have explained why he spun, but no logical explanation for that one. Impossible. But there will be a logical explanation for Casper Flack to take down the stretch.
There, Byron.
Yeah, indeed. Casper Flack going for the move for third place once again, as CPI Fraser goes for the move for the lead here. And now Yoen down to second here for ET8, but he'll try and get the switch back here. He'll get the DRS down this second straight, and there we go. The opportunity for the re-overtake coming in his favour. He'll go down the inside comfortably ahead and retakes the racing line. He won't lose any time to the car behind. And if these two work together and just edge ahead of each other, re-overtake each other like they just did, they will actually probably extend the gap behind and make it more difficult for Casper Flack and Rayan to get into that 1 second window, which at the moment they have 5 attempts to try and find to Casper Flack and Rayan to try and get back in this chance of a race win.
And it's all kicking off behind them too. And Casper Flack has made it past Rayani and now is in third place and is stuck in an IRT sandwich with Frank behind him. Kurumi and Ethan still lurking around as well, as the gap remains at 4.5 tenths at the top for the lead. Fraser got an overtake, but Owen struck back and kept his lead intact. But what is going to unfold when he come out, we'll have to see, and that is another yellow flag for Derek. He's just having a nightmare start. And questions are going to be raised about wherever DLX have been prepared for this championship, and they're struggling to get anywhere near the races. Hopefully they will find some improvement. But here we go. It's ET8 and CPI battling for the lead. Fraser decides to hang fire again. Should be going all guns blazing coming out of turn number 3 though. Not really a good exit from Fraser. Ian Owens seems to have won the battle in that, but what is going to be the response from Fraser? Fraser can't find the move. He stays in second place. Meanwhile, Rayani, right behind Casper, can't seem to get a move done though. Further behind, that's Impact battling Matt Zozo. The soft tire starting to run out of steam, it seems, as Matt Zozo is now into 9th place. Further back, though, Nico up to 15th now, thanks to the misfortune for DLX as the battles continue long into the night.
Yes, they absolutely will continue long into the night. This is one of the very few tracks on this calendar that have, and we've had a night race at. Obviously, we've only had night races in Saudi Arabia up to this point in the championship, but we'll head to Las Vegas in a couple of races' time for another night race, which will be plenty fun. But CPI Fraser, whether it's a night race or a day race, this man seems to have plenty of pace around any circuit you give him. And, well, he's continuing to be very close to the back of Yoen here, but I think these two are probably not too worried about being in the lead now. They're just thinking about the long game and trying to make sure that the cars behind don't get into that DRS. And yep, there you go, Fraser up into the race lead, and further back behind you see Rayan getting ahead of Casper Flack there, and IRT lose 1 place as ET8 lose 1 as well. So this race progressing very nicely for both teams there of CPI and obviously EPL getting some good points on the board as things stand, but now comes the difficulty here for CPI Fraser. He hasn't been in this position too much where he's actually been leading the race. In fact, I think this is the first time he's led through this section of track ahead of ETA Owen, because remember last time he took the race lead, he was immediately overtaken down that second DRS straight, and now Owen has got to try and make the overtake here, but it might give him an opportunity to recharge that battery and just work on his, his tyres a little bit less as well, because he'll be behind Yoan here. But is he going to, as to how much time he wants to waste behind this CPI car, and if he thinks it's more better for him to be out in front.
Fraser leads the race. If they get this win, then that will be their 5th win in 9 races. Incredible domination and a return to form for the team that has led since the very start of the championship back in round number 1 and has never lost it since. They had some misfortune along the way, of course. Round 5 they saw a double DNF in the first corner of the race, but now they've got to fend off Owen if they are to hold on to this fantastic form. Here comes Owen now. He's going to get passed into the lead once again, but is there going to be a response from Fraser? Not at the moment, but we'll see what happens coming out of turn 3. Meanwhile, Ethan making the move on Kurumi into turn 1 for 6th position, running side by side. Kurumi trying to strike back, and they're going to be going side by side down towards turn number 4, as well as they go into the corner side by side, and it is still cannot be separated, it seems. But what is Kurumi going to do? Kurumi is going to have to stay behind Ethan. Ethan wins that out.
Wow, beautiful stuff from the pair of them to keep that nice and clean as well. Not an easy place to go side by side through there. So very beautifully done by the pair of them. Lovely, lovely stuff from both of them there. As you see, that's Alan Dean, who's lost a little bit of time and a place there, and nearly got overtaken there by.
He gained a place. He gained a place, Byron. He's passed Impact. Impact's on dead soft tires, and he's already lost the position to Matt Zozo in turn 4, and then in turn 8 lost it to Aladini. So now Impact is relegated out of the top 10, still going to score, it's top 15, but now outside the top 10 and should be thinking of coming into the pit soon.
Absolutely should be thinking come into the pit soon. We saw in the PC race the tyres went on for about 11 laps on the soft compound tyres, so undoubtedly anyone on the soft compound tyres, they'll peel into the pit. Oh, look at Rayan, how wide do you want to run on the exit? Well, he certainly ran as wide as he possibly could. No idea what keeps happening to Rayan at that final corner, turn 14 and 15. That man cannot seem to get a good exit. A lot of the time he's got a loose rear end on there, or sometimes he's running very, very wide. Would have been lucky not to have got a warning there, but I don't think he would have done, solely because of how long he stayed out there for. But lap 12:29 here, we're getting towards the halfway point in this race. It's still Yoan out in front, but he has got a real challenge here with Fraser in behind. Not going to be an easy one to finish this race P1.
Battle still happening in the mid-pack between the RCRs and the VMVs. Impact tried to get past Aladini, but no avail. Still in 11th. And I'm surprised he's still out there with those tyres absolutely screaming for life. Meanwhile, further up front, Ewan and Fraser still lead by 1.5 seconds. Riani still struggling on those tyres. Lucky's not lost any positions as a result of his mistakes, as Casper Flack and Frank struggle to find a way past. Kurumi up there trying to close back up and get Ethan's 6th place back. We have a long way to go, considering we've got 18 laps left, make it 17 when Ewan's about to cross the line. DLX still really struggling, they're pretty much out of contention, and I should say maybe Alpha Gully and Nico their mistakes as well. Now, is there going to be a move from Fraser into the first corner? No, I wouldn't expect there to be one. This is the yellow flag again. Now Ethan going on the outside. Frankie actually pushes Ethan in the back, and he's actually going to get a through here. Now that's going to be seen as a push to pass there. Frank is really struggling, and Kurumi's going to get past as well, as Ewan is in the lead still. But who is going to come out of here? That's Frank trying to get back past Kurumi. Can't do it, as there are 2 drivers in the pits.
Yes, two drivers into the pit lane. That's Matt Zozo and Impact. Both of those were struggling on their tyres. Impact, obviously, the main culprit there. He was on the soft compound tyres. They'll come out behind Nico and Alpha Gully, respectively, for the pair of them. So they've not exactly lost a huge amount of time versus those, especially Nico, who obviously changed his front wing. But obviously, the pain for those guys will come more towards the end of the race when they've got more tyre wear. And they might even have to stop again, possibly, especially in the case of Nico, most definitely. But lap 13 of 29, it's still Owen out in front, but look at Rayan, he has caught by a couple attempts to the back of CPI Fraser, so possibly there's an outside chance that Casper Flack, Rayan, Ethan, Karumi, and Frank all get involved for this battle for the race lead. They're showing solid pace versus this top two, and if the top two keep battling, it could be really working to their benefit as Karumi gets ahead of Ethan there down the straight once more. They all head, and nicely done. I believe that's Ethan having the mistake out of the exit of turn number 14. And that's what's caused him to fall slightly further adrift of this pack here. But the battle still, for this race lead, undoubtedly still on, just because Rayan is 7 tenths off the back of the 1 second window he wants to be within, doesn't mean he's out of this race in the slightest, because all it takes is one mistake from one of those top two, and they could be right in the hunt.
It's a massive move. Nico losing a couple of positions. Alidini comes out into the battle too. Alpha Gully and Matt Zozo into 11th and 12th now, and they'll be battling for 11th position themselves. Matt Zozo goes right on the outside, has the better tyres and the better grip, and is going to get into 11th place now, and he's going to have to deal with Nico coming through the corners, and so as well, it's Aladini as well. If Matt Zozo gets through, now it's Aladini's turn. He's already just had a tyre change, and his first opponent is going to be the driver on the worst tyres possible, and that is the move for 13th place. And now he will be going for Alpha Gully next. Meanwhile, the top two now going to be squabbling it out again. Now, what is going to happen? Is that a go? No, it's not. I thought they were going to gradually move to the pits, but Riani's coming in. He's decided to bail into the pits, and now Casper Flack will inherit that third place for the meantime. Fraser just waiting it out behind Ewan once again. He knows that if he moves there, then Ewan is going to have a massive run into turn number 4. He's going to strike while the iron's hot, I presume. Now, is there going to be a move from Fraser in this occasion? No, he's deciding, playing it very tactical here. But if he plays the tactics game too long, he might lose out, and Casper might gain.
Absolutely, but I'm noticing the strategy there being imposed by Rayan. Definitely one of interest and note of, I think, everyone watching from home. He's gone earlier on his change of tyres. Very important. What he's done, he was about 7 tenths adrift of this top two. He's gone for the undercut, which means he can unleash his fresh tyres onto this racetrack sooner than the top two can, and as a result, he might be able to gain that 7 tenths he needs to get within that 1 second window. So definitely an interesting strategy being imposed there by Rayan. An undercut there could definitely work for him in this scenario, especially with plenty of time can be gained in just a couple of corners when you run that undercut strategy around a circuit like Bahrain. Such grippy tarmac around here that he'll be gaining shed loads of time. But when do these top two pit? Well, it's not going to be on this occasion. They've stayed it out one more lap, and now Casper Flack, Karumi, and Ethan all into the pit lane. They're going to try the undercut too, and the top two could be left out to dry here, and that's interesting because you would have thought
mistake for me in!
Oh, a mistake maybe, or just apparently desync because something happened there. He's back in the race lead.
Oh dear! Don't do that, Cody's.
Very laggy there from. Yeah, very interesting. But I think the point to note there is this undercut from this, top field. Rayan, by the way, he's 1.4 seconds ahead of Casper, 1.6 now ahead of Casper Flack. Bearing in mind, they were within touching distance of each other. This undercut is definitely working.
Definitely is. Quasar is now in third, but yet he's not pitted yet. That gap is 22 seconds. I make it. I've got an interval screen. It is 22 seconds. So with the pit stops being about 23 seconds of loss, you never know. It could work out for them, but they need to be. They're putting their foot on the gas. The top two. I think they should be coming in this lap. Ewan and Fraser. 6 tenths between each other, coming through the final corners. Now, is there going to be any moves made? Let's see. Are they going to go in? Are they going to go in? Yes, they are. They're both going in. And they're going to get the fresh medium tyres. And Quasar will, I think, lead the race for the moment. Now, 21 seconds is the time that they have to use as a reference. Both coming into the pits for medium tyres. And there they go, on them now.
Yes, keep an eye here on Rayan.
So, Fraser.
Where will Rayan come out in all of this? Bearing in mind, he went for the undercut strategy, so did all of the top field, and Rayan has pulled a blinder here. He will lead. He will lead the Bahrain Grand Prix because he's done the undercut. He's done the business. Once Quasar comes into the pit lane, your race leader will be Rayan here, and he has pulled this strategy off to perfection. Came in 2 laps earlier than the top 2, and it has paid dividends for him. That man has sold when it's high because he now will lead the Bahrain Grand Prix. And look at Johan and Fraser, now Casper Flack, Frank and Karumi, as well as Ethan and Lars Kramer are all in this train. Now, what was a secure top 2 position, if they pit earlier, they might have kept it. But now they've got to think so much about these cars behind.
Fraser and Owen left red face, left hung to dry, and they're now in trouble. And in fact, they've got Flack and Frank behind them. Riani is pulled off one of the best strategy calls of the season so far. And with Quasar soon about to pit, I'm sure it'll be this lap, he is going to be your leader. Quasar trying to not milk the moment or something. Fraser, of course, 16 lap holes, should be pitting. There he goes. So Rayan now officially the leader here in Bahrain, and it is going to be a massive fight for the win, because surely those tyres on Rayan are going to have to peel away soon, because of course he's pit a couple laps later. And in fact, that's a battle between Karumi and Frank for 5th position. They go side by side. And off the track as well. Frank lucky to stay in, but here comes Ethan. He's going to sense some blood. And they come into the corner, and there he goes. Ethan now side by side with Frank coming through. 5, 6, and a 7. And the move is a success from Ethan. Fantastic move. But now Owen is closing in on Rayan. Is his moment of glory about to be... Are the tyres already starting to show a disadvantage? Behind him is Fraser as well, so he's got to be careful about that. Should he make a mistake? This has now become from a 2-car race to a 7, maybe 8-car race. The top 8 are within a few seconds of each other, and I should say Karumi is starting to drop back. But now Owen, sensing a move, can't get it around turn 13. He's going to have a chance. Out of the corner he comes. Is there going to be a move? He's got to watch him behind. He's right there. He can sense it, but he's not going to make the move. Surely he's got to do it now, and Fraser's going to get involved in this too. There is a deluxe car who's about to be lapped in front of them. Hopefully that doesn't cause any interference for any of these drivers. But now Owen's going to take the lead here if he can pull this move off. Side by side with Riani. There is Fraser as well. Oh, he's pushed him. Has Fraser, but no, he's lost out and takes the lead again. And that battle has actually put stars in their eyes for Casper. They have some hope once again, and the top 3 remain as they are coming turn 4.
Yes, it's very interesting to see now Owen there back into the race lead, but that man for not WR, that was the team that used to be there at the start of the season. ETA have been really on blistering pace, and Rayan would have seen that coming for a long while, as that is the yellow flag there. That's Derek moving out of the way there for the plenty of cars there that we're going to get through. And this is the battle for the race lead. Ryan in second place. His strategy definitely worked in the short term, but is it short-term gain for long-term pain for him? Because Johan and Fraser were looking mighty down that straight and looked like they had absolute shed loads of pace advantage versus that EPL. So unfortunately for them, might not work to their advantage. But yeah, Darek there losing so much time, letting pretty much the entire field through. I'm not quite sure what that Haas is doing, but Ryan is nicely tucked into the slipstream here as the fastest lap there goes, well, to Johan and then to Ethan. So the fastest lap there being set nicely by this top gaggle of cars, and this battle for the race lead. Don't count anyone who is here out, because such is this battle. Anyone could gain anything out of this as Quasar sets a fastest lap of the race of his own. So responding nicely to the pace set by everyone else. These are the soft compound tyres. He'll have a long way to go in this race to make them last, but certainly can definitely get towards the end of this race. But now Ryan, he's not looking too bad. Now he's got the benefit of DRS. He's very much keeping pace with Johan ahead.
I think Perujo is, he's penalised for speeding in the pit lane, so even more woes for DLX coming into the pits this time. It seems like the battles have calmed down. Up front, it's 3.5 seconds for the lead between Ryan and Owen. Fraser trying to hop around as well. Black and Ethan Rumi filtering through, but they're starting to drop off. As you can see, they're in the 1 second gap. Oh, it's back in the 1 second gap as Ethan, sorry. Get Ewan and Ethan confused very easily. And Frank now closing up on Kurumi as he's losing ground to Ethan himself.
Yes, plenty of talking points in this race, but Ryan is still very much holding fire on this one. He's certainly got some good pace, and I'm wondering if there maybe, now he's behind Johan, he's maybe just thinking more about the tyres as Frank there gets ahead of Karumi and up into 6th place, and that's a good move for IRT. They'll desperately be wanting. Remember back to qualifying when they were certainly not advantaged by RCR, so they're trying to maximise this race as much as possible. And, well, it's a good showing there for Frank there as he gets up into 6th place in this race, but still plenty of opportunities for this entire field here. And I'm just thinking about, as they all go down into this turn number 10, the lockups that we get through here, who's putting more pain on their tyres in this field? Because everyone seems to be locking up there, but who is locking up worse? Who's putting more wear and stress on their tyres? It's really a guessing game here at the Bahrain International Circuit, and, well, it's going to be interesting to see who comes out the better of all of this battling come the checkered flag. We've got 9 laps to go in this race as well, so plenty of time for these cars to squabble and duel it out once more. And I'm looking as Ethan is very nearly onto the back of Casper Flack and nearly involving himself into this battle for the race lead.
So here we go once again. Is there going to be any moves made down the first corner? That's Alpha Gully and Quasar coming through side by side in turn 12 and 13, and Alpha Gully getting a move. Now is Ryan going to make a move into the... He's side by side with Owen into the first corner. Owen tries to fight back, coming through the second corner now, and he nearly touched, coming out of it into the third. Owen somehow hands on, and now it's 3 wide, or well, nearly was. Look 3 wide from that far away, but doesn't get the move, and Owen stays in the lead. Meanwhile, there's a massive 4-car battle happening behind. Surely it's going to end in tears, but somehow they all stay on the track. The 2 Saubers, of VMV, now in 11th and 10th. Matt Zozo and Alpha 12th, 13th, losing some points there, and all kicking off, but we should be focusing on the battle up front.
Absolutely, we should, because CPI Fraser is really closing in on the back of this train as well for this possible race lead, as Rayan nearly falls out of 1 second. If he does here, it could be curtains for the chance of a race win challenge, unless Fraser can get past and get into that 1 second window himself. But now Rayan is comfortably out of 1 second here, and now it is down to Fraser to try and get the overtake and get back into the hunt here, because 1.5 separates this top two, and that is not less than a second. Doesn't take much math to figure that one out, and unfortunately for Fraser, it means that the car in front, no DRS, he needs to make the overtake, he needs to gain plenty of temps to get up to the back of Johan, and now down the straight they head once more. CPI Fraser, he's ahead of Rayan. Casper Flax ahead of Rayan, but Rayan battles it into turn number 1 on the exit of turn 2 and turn 3, and Rayan holds it well, he holds it steadfast, he keeps the DRS wide open down the second straight. Fraser's nearly back within a second of Johan. This battle continues once more, but Rayan's pace, it is nowhere near that of Johan and Fraser. It's almost curtains for him in this race, and his chances of a win, his tyres, they've just fallen off. They've started to show the signs of their age, and now, unfortunately for him, it is not working to his advantage. It's to his detriment, unfortunately, for him and EPL, but a strategy that he had to try nonetheless. He was so close to keeping it within it, but he's got DRS down this straight, so there's still a slim chance with Fraser not having DRS here.
Yes, it looks like it's back to reality for Ryan. He's out of Dreamland and in a battle to keep his podium alive, but Casper Flax having none of it. Ethan and Frank seem to have dropped off. Karumi's behind Frank right now. Further back, only 3 drivers on soft tyres, Derek on hard tyres. It's just not been a great day if you are in the DLX cars. It's gone all against them tonight. Now, top, it doesn't seem like there's going to be any shifting for a while, because Fraser barely in that 1 second, and I think in that 1 second now, he was within it when he got to the detection point.
Yes, he's got that DRS. There's a yellow flag there, as that's Matt Zozo, who's had a spin at the final corner. I'm not sure if he's damaged his front wing. It doesn't appear he has. So continuing on there for RCR, but they've had a race to forget so far. They're definitely going to be dealt a penalty as well for that incident that happened in qualifying. So it's not been a great time for them, as Rayan gets a penalty. That's going to really hurt his race now, because now Casper Flack and Ethan could both gain an easy position without having to do an overtake. They've got the gain for none of the legwork. Now Rayan's got to try and pull a bit more of a gap in this race, try and unleash a little bit more pace. Fraser will need to do the same, because he's fallen out of a second by a couple of attempts here now. So it's a bit more difficult for him and CPI. ETA still leading this race, but low battery light on there on the back of the ETA Aston Martin. And there's a big rear end slide for CPI Fraser on the exit of turn number 13. Towards 14 they go, and he's still not within a second, and it's really hurting his race and his chances of a good result here. And Rayan might be about to be dealt a blow of his own in this race, because he might be about to get overtaken, as yet again another yellow flag. It's DLX.
Yeah, DLX just falling off the radar tonight. It's absolutely going horribly wrong. And if you have a non-factor in this race, Casper Flack tries to get a third position set in stone, but can't seem to get it done. The 5th, 6th, and 7th place drivers also battling for their points as well. Seems to have lulls in the battle. Win seems cannot be challenged right now, but anything can happen. If there's a safety car in this race, well, goodness me, that could change the entire game.
Absolutely, it could, but with only a couple of laps left in this one, a safety car looking very unlikely, and, well, I think that might be a bit of music to the ears of Rayan, because, well, he'd only lose 1 place as things stand. If there was a safety car, he'd certainly probably lose quite a few more, so those who have penalties, they know that no safety car now works to their advantage, and, well, that chance of a safety car, it's getting much, much slimmer the more and more laps we get through. And yeah, it's just becoming a real race to forget for some, but a race of elation for others, because Johan, he's on through. phenomenal result here around the Bahrain International Circuit, and what a circuit it has been. It's thrown up so many surprises, so many thrills and spills, but Fraser still has a couple of laps to try and mount a challenge here, and well, if he's able to do it, this could be a blockbuster finish to this race. But Casper Flack once again keeping close to the back of Rayan. When does he get this overtake done is the question, because there's no doubt he can.
There is no doubt he can, because, well, if Ryan loses this third position, then he will not actually lose any positions, because Ethan is 3.8 seconds behind Casper Flack, so it's very unlikely that they can actually lose anything here. So that penalty would just be basically a kick in the teeth for Ryan as he tries to fight him off. But right now, the closest battle we have is between 5th, 6th, and 7th. This is actually a brilliant battle building up between Ethan, Kurumi, and Frank as they make their way through for the for the 9th and 10th turns of the track. And is there going to be a battle here that looks like Kurumi somewhere breathe against Ethan, but no, can't get anywhere through. So stays in that 6th position. Brianni now still trying to contend with the fact Casper Flack is all over him like the IRS trying to collect your taxes.
What a joke! What a joke there from you, Logan.
It's true,
but towards the end of this race, we are very much heading, and as Logan mentioned, the battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th is really heating up here between Kurumi, Ethan, and Frank. And you see Kurumi pulling out onto the marbles, which is not something you normally want to do. You don't normally want to pick up those marbles because it doesn't work to your advantage if you do get them, but he doesn't want to get the overspeed on that car in front of Ethan, so it's worth doing in his case. He just wants to stay behind until the final lap when he knows he can get the overtake, blast ahead, keep the position, and there's nothing that those behind can do to respond to that. But in this sort of scenario, it's just about playing the tactics, especially with so little left to go in the race. It's about trying to pick your battles and pick them very carefully. You must. And someone who might be trying to pick a battle is Casper Flack within a couple of straights time, because he is so close to the back of Rayan, and you've got to think, it's a matter of when, not if, this IRT can get ahead of that EPL ahead of Rayan.
So, it looks like Casper Flack is going to pull off the inevitable against Rayan. It'll have to be done because he's got a penalty. It's only just hurting his chances of getting even close to Fraser and Owen, as there's a yellow flag for, don't know who that is for. It's for Matt Zozo. It has to be Matt Zozo because he's ahead. Now, what's going to happen between Casper Flack and Rayan? Casper Flack goes on the outside and does get through, and now into the podium spots goes Casper Flack in this race, and Rayan has to yield for 4th place as all coming through. Now Fraser is starting to try and break into the race. He's got no energy though, so that is a problem as the DLX lets the cars through. At least they're sporting and let the other cars through. That's a good thing to see. 5th, 6th, and 7th still remaining the same. No battles as yet. Looks like Ethan got very wide into the corner, but still holds on. Kurumi still behind him, and Frank just watching on, seeing what develops.
Yes, as Casper Flack and Rayan continue to battle there, down in towards turn number 10. What a sensational battle this is between the two cars. The IRC there in the Papaya McLaren, and that Rayan in that EPL AlphaTauri behind. And this battle is definitely going to go on to the final lap, because Rayan, it's just about bragging rights, really, to be third on the road. But that penalty obviously means he won't stay there, unfortunately. But the bragging rights, they want it as much as they can, especially for EPL. They've not had the best of seasons up to this point, so anything is going to be absolutely beneficial to them, because they will want everything they can get out of it, because, well, You know, they're currently ninth in the standings, 40 points to their name. If they can get a few more on the board and get a few bragging
Okay,
rights at the same
behind.
time. And, well, yeah, that 3-card battle behind is really beginning to continue to ramp up now. There's that yellow flag there for Koruga there, down in 16th place, letting more cars through. And, well, no surprise that they're having to do that. I'll correct myself, that was Derek. As actually, DLX might get some points here because Nico has just lost a place to well, Corrido, who is now up
No,
into
he's got a
15th.
penalty. Carrillo has a penalty whenever
True.
he's spin the pit lane.
Yeah.
So, looks like the Elects are going to walk out of here with no points unless there's another penalty. So, it looks like, I believe Matt Zozo's is, yeah, Carrillo's got 9 seconds, 5 seconds. So, he is going to lose that position.
Yes, well, the final few corners coming up now. Kaspervac trying to get ahead, but it will mean nothing realistically on the road if he's able to get ahead of Ryan. There's a yellow flag there behind. That was actually the Derek there, who just has had a torrid time in this race. He's actually now been lapped by nearly everyone, but someone who hasn't been lapped by anyone and someone who's barely been overtaken at all has been Johan. He will win this race for ETA. That is a team on spectacular form once more. It's a win for them in this season. It's Fraser in second. Kaspervac will finish in third due to Ryan's 3-second time penalty. Ethan in fifth. Karuni in sixth. IRT Frank in seventh. A great race for them. And yeah, Karumi barely not getting ahead of Ethan there as Frank is in seventh. Lars Kramer eighth. Alan Dini in ninth. Will Quasar lose a place to his teammate? No, he won't. That is Quasar in 10th, Impact in 11th, Alpha Gully in 12th, Stretch will come across the line comfortably in 13th place. No one really close behind him, no one really close ahead, so nothing to worry about for him. And Matt Zozo will be 14th, and Nico will be 15th in this race, taking your final points playing position. But Johan, a win in this season, another win for EC8. That is a team on absolute rails, fire in this championship. So nonetheless, it's going to be absolutely brilliant. And I've just seen that it's Owen and not, well, Johan, as we've been saying, but Owen has just been great. And I love this. I love this in chat. Things guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and Logan making jokes during comms. And I couldn't agree more.
Impact's DNF. Now that's not true. He finished 11th, so ignore the fact that DLX is in 15th and everyone below Quasar down in 11th, because that's not true. He did finish the race. We saw it. So ignore that. He's in 11th. And he's driver of the day apparently.
Indeed. Well, that was your race. Let's take a look to your podium, and it's ETA on the top step once again in this season. A team that have thoroughly deserved every single one of their podiums and results that they have acquired along the way. And, well, now it is a real chance for them to try and get some good overtakes and moves in this championship. It's about time that they really mounted a great title chart, or attempted title charge, if they can even get that at this point in the championship. And anything is possible for them. But your race classification, E.T. Owen takes the race win, and what a race win for his country, Ireland. Brilliant race for them. Fraser in second, Kaspervac third, Ryan in fourth, Ethan in fifth, Karimi sixth, Frank in seventh, Lars Kramer eighth, ninth for Alan Dini, Quasar in 10th, 11th place will be Impact there. He did finish there, but unfortunately the game somehow DNF'd him there. Alpha Gully will be in 12th place, Stretch in 13th, Matt Zozo 14th, and Nico will take the final place in 15th and an additional point for the fastest lap, which he got there on the final lap of that race. But what a race it undoubtedly was. And we'll go back to the comms cams Absolutely, it was a great race for yourself, and obviously a great podium there too. And funnily enough, we have, I believe, the second and third place drivers to go and celebrate that win, and we'll drag in the other two drivers from that podium. And I can't. Yeah, it was Fraser in second place. We'll drag in now. Fraser, first of all, can you hear me? And secondly, a good race result for you and CPI in this championship. Maybe not where you wanted to be. You've taken some wins in the past, but still solid points. You think you've got this championship in the bag now?
Yeah, it was a good result. I mean, especially because I was the only CPI driver, but we're inching closer to the title, which is obviously the goal. 3 rounds left. I think we can wrap it up in the next 2, is it? I'm not sure. But yeah, good result. Good management, I think, overall. Didn't have as much pace as others around, but well managed, I think. Just, yeah, brought it home, really. P2, not bad.
Yes, a very well managed race, and as you mentioned, the upcoming races, Japan next week is our next destination. A very different circuit to this one. Are you feeling confident in your pace going into that one, or is it going to be maybe another race of slight struggles for CPI, especially with ETA on such strong form at this point in the championship?
Yeah, we'll see. I know we've got a lot of strong drivers at Japan who are confident, and yeah, I'm sure we can get a great result next week as well. Not sure who will race yet, but whoever does, I'm sure they can get a great result.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great result for you, especially running it lone wolf. Logan, any questions for the second place driver?
So I noticed you were backing off a lot from Fraser. From Ewan going into the first corner instead of just going through and possibly, either trying to defend position or let Ewan through to maybe increase the gap on third place. Were you considering? By the way, my light is horrendous.
There you go.
We
can
What was your
finally
thought
see.
process going? Yes, what was your thought process going when you were battling Ewan?
Yeah, I knew he had a lot more pace, so I was just sitting in behind, letting him drag me along the DRS. Yeah, when I went for the moves a couple of times, he just got straight back past, so I was literally just sitting in behind. Not much. I wanted to somehow go for the win at the end, but then I got dropped from DRS, so that was lost. Yeah, just had to settle for P2 in the end.
Yeah.
Very well. Still a lot of haul for CPI. That puts you on proficiently 375 points, which would put you very nice and clear of, I should believe, is IRT, who have got a great haul points as well tonight for third and fifth.
Well, congratulations on the podium, Fraser. Go and celebrate that. You absolutely deserve to, because what a good race you had tonight in the Principality of Bahrain. Some great pace and definitely fighting words going into Japan next week. We look forward to hopefully seeing both CPI cars take to the track. Well, hopefully see you guys have yet another solid race. Very good job on your lonesome. So go and enjoy it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And well, I don't. This doesn't happen often. We've got all 3 on the podium. We've got Casper as well, who was obviously the third place driver post penalties, but obviously, unfortunately, the penalty for Ryan was what held him back in this race. But Casper, firstly, can you hear me? And secondly, a good podium for IRT. How does it feel? You'll go up to second in the championship. Are you, feeling confident? How's kind of the mood at the moment at IRT? Obviously difficult in qualifying with yourself with that incident, but it's still a good result.
Yeah, so quali was a shocker. Can't really tell. Yeah, he was just sleeping, I think, before starting his lap. So costed me pole, but in the end, we started, I think, P3 and P5, so that's great. Frank lost 2 positions. I stayed in the same. And yeah, I think it's a very good race for the team.
Yes, definitely was a good race for the team. Obviously, we head to Japan next. Are you confident in your team's pace for Japan, or do you think it's going to be a bit difficult to challenge the likes of CPI and ET8, who obviously are both teams that have been on fine form as of late?
Yeah, well, they're quick. Like, I cannot catch them. But I don't know for Japan. I'm not driving because I'm in London next week. But I think my team can get a good result again. We can get a good setup, put some practice in.
Yep.
I think we can do well again.
All right. Well, Logan, any questions from you before we let our third place podium driver go?
Sorry, I had to get away from the mic for a second. Did we talk about that instant qualifying?
Yes, he mentioned it was a shocker. To quote him,
Yeah, okay.
It's a shocker.
Oh, then I don't believe I have any other questions though.
Okie dokie. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Fraser. Fraser. Casper, for a quick interview. I'll let you go and celebrate that podium, but a great one nonetheless. Enjoy London next week. There's plenty of sights to see. I've been there a few times myself. It's not as exciting as many people think, though. But nonetheless, enjoy it, and we look forward to seeing you hopefully in a couple weeks' time. But a solid podium. Go and enjoy it. I'll let you go. Thank you very much for the interview there.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Wow. That'll do us for the interviews, and that will do us pretty much for all of the race coverage. Now it's just to go through your conversation as we look towards the conclusion of this championship. And Logan, we're heading to Japan, Las Vegas and Brazil to round out this championship. Still 3 races to go. Plenty of time for things to change in the pecking order. We've seen it already. CPI really strong form at the start of the season, but it's dipped a bit more now. Can they keep the advantage going is the question. ET8 really strong at the moment. Japan is such a difficult circuit to overtake at. If we see if there's another qualifying like we saw tonight with Owen, possibly it's going to be a race, victory pretty much in the bag for ET8. Good form from them. So, it's going to be interesting.
Absolutely. Fantastic track. Has been one of the greatest tracks ever in Formula 1. The only figure of 8 layout in the sport, and probably one of the only figure 8 currently exists in the world. Yes. It's just such ingenious design and such many legendary corners. You got the first few corners, the S's, the 130R, Boone curve.
Yes.
It's got everything and has been home to some incredible moments. Battles between Senna and Prost. Course, in the first few races that were held there. And then, of course, the battles involving Schumacher, title rivals, and of course the Rain Rabbit race in 2022, which was
that was
controversial ending, which we'll not talk about.
Yes,
and
indeed.
Of course, has been a firm fan favorite, and will be there next week. So you better tune in and.
Yes, indeed. Very well summed up. What a race we're looking forward to as we head to Japan next week. Thank you very much for joining us for this race, and thank you for being a part of all of the action, thrills and spills that have happened here tonight around the Bahrain International Circuit. We'll let you head off now, but thank you very much for joining us for this stream. We look forward to hopefully seeing you next time as we head to Japan, one of the only figure of 8 circuits in the world. That is certainly going to throw up a few surprises, no doubts about it. Thank you very much for joining us, but until next time when we head to Suzuka, bye bye.